And with that devastation comes a lot of questions, including what about voting in the presidential election?
You have to keep in mind that some people were just receiving mail-in ballots, and even though there were 3 weeks between Helene and the beginning of early voting, most counties hadn't even started to dig out of the mess.
Well, our senior political reporter Bob Buckley spoke to North Carolina State Senate President Phil Berger about that and what the state will do to aid in this recovery.
In 2020, several states illegally changed their voting rules and laws. When it was supposed to be the legislature, we saw courts do it, we saw election officials do it. What did you guys do?
We did a couple of things, made turning in absentee ballots for folks in that area easier by allowing them to turn those ballots in at any Board of Elections office in the state or at any early polling site in the state.
North Carolina law says the governor appoints election boards, so all the local election boards in the state are controlled by Democrats. And Berger says the new law takes that into account when it comes to changes that are allowed in voting rules.
You could not have a change if it was just the Democrats voting for it or just the Republicans voting for it. You had to have at least one Republican going along with the Democrats or, two Democrats going along with the Republicans.
What monetary support has the General Assembly provided so far, and what do you plan to take up on Thursday?
Yeah, so the bill we passed previously was, I think it was $270+ million that went primarily to assist with cash flow issues and local matches for FEMA dollars, and a clear understanding that even this, which will total somewhere north of $700 or $800 million so far, is not going to be the end of it.
All of that money is from the state's $4.75 billion rainy day fund, nearly 20% of its total.
And one of the concerns that we have, because we're going to dip into it pretty significantly, is that, we're still in hurricane season. There could be another one that comes along, or we may very well have storms, tornadoes, and other things next year.
Will the General Assembly look to make any changes to building codes and other types of laws that will prevent this type of damage, or are you going to leave that to the counties?
What we likely will do is make some modifications to the permit issuance process to try to cut down on the time, to try to speed up the issuance of permits to do building.
People have said we shouldn't let people build so many things on steep hills, or if we do, we need to require certain methods of building that prevent them from simply washing away. That's not something the Assembly should look at?
I think it's something we probably need to look at. I don't know that we need to, on the fly, be making major changes to laws, even those kinds of laws, but it's the sort of thing we need to look at, yes.
Is the state ready for the next storm, and have we learned from this to be better?
Yeah, so I think financially the state is in good shape. I think the real problem or the real concern that we have is the longer term recovery effort.
And Berger says that no relief effort this massive will be without its problems and mistakes, but from what he's seen so far, he believes it has been going well.
Tonight,